What's going on, folks? This is TJ Lauerman, aka ThatSportsGamer. We have finally made it to the last week of team breakdowns at MLB 13, the show. We're going to start this week off with the New York Mets, as you could have guessed from my hat. Yeah, they are a baseball team. Yeah, that's being nice to them by calling them that. Let's just go take a look at the roster and see who they got, and you'll see what I mean. Alright, so New York Mets, David Wright, Johan Santana, obviously the cornerstones of this franchise, and Matt Harvey is the up-and-comer. Let's just take a look at the starting rotation. Johan Santana, the best part about this rotation is they're not injured in the game, so you get to use them, unlike the Mets who don't get to use Johan Santana, and rarely get to use Sean Markham, and some of these other guys. But you got Santana, who's an 88 with some great control and good breaking balls. Matt Harvey, you know him. He's got the gas. 87 overall with A potential. At only 23 years old, he's going to be a big guy for you. Sean Markham's got some good breaking balls for you, coming from the Blue Jays from last year. And you also have John Neese and Dylan G rounding out the rotation. Both 26, 82, and 81, respectively. Decent potentials. They're probably going to be some cornerstones for your rotation for a little bit to go. But then you got a couple guys down here like Jeremy Hefner, who's only 26 and a 76 overall with a C-pot. Juris Familia, who's 23 with a 72 overall. Jenry Mejia. I mean, you got some guys that might be good one day, but probably not. Look at this guy, 21, A-pot, only 66, Tyler Mayer. He could become interesting at some point in the future, but you're probably going to want Matt Harvey to be your ace, and he'll probably rank up pretty quick to be a mid-90s overall pitcher. Moving to the bullpen, not much to say here. I've always liked Bobby Parnell. He's got an 81 overall rating and a B-pot, so he's going to be a good guy for you. Then you got Tim Burdick, who's a 75, but he's already 39 years old, and Pedro Feliciano, who's 36 years old. And then after that, it's pretty much not much. It would probably be the best way to describe it. Closing them out, you got Frank Francisco. He's only a 79 overall, so you might want to start looking for another closer. And Samuel De Los Santos might actually be better off as one of the setup guys for you. Even with a 72 overall, he would be your fourth best middle reliever. Moving behind the plate, John Buck off to a hot start this year. Good contact, decent power numbers. So he's probably going to be your starter for a while. Interesting, this roster this is the Operation Sports 2.0, doesn't have Travis D'Arnaud, or however you say that guy's name, which is a little interesting. So you might want to try to get him in if you're going to be the Mets to keep the realism up. First base, you got Ike Davis and Dave Bryant, and not much more. Ike Davis has got some good power and contact against righties, not so much against lefties. Though he is 25 and an A-pot, he'll be getting better. Bryant is a little bit better against lefties than he is the righties, and he's a B-pot, so he will also be getting better. So that's going to be an interesting toss-up at first base, especially with the amount of strikeouts that you're probably going to get with Ike Davis. Moving on to second base, probably their deepest position, which really isn't saying much. You got Daniel Murphy at second base, who's got some decent contact numbers, but actually pretty good contact numbers, but the power is not really there for him. Though good durability. Right? Durability? Yeah, durability is a 95. I feel like this dude gets injured a lot. Jordani Valdespin takes fastballs in the junk, so you might want to worry about that a little bit. And he's only a 60 speed. I was expecting a little more out of him. Decent contact, decent power. 61 power versus righties, that's not bad. Justin Turner, good contact against righties and okay against lefties, but not a ton of power otherwise. Nothing really to talk about at second base. Third base, you got David Wright, obviously, 30 years old, 93 overall, A potential. Great contact versus lefties, good contact versus righties. And pretty decent power numbers. I wouldn't shake a stick at those, though Citi Field is not that much of a hitter's ballpark, so that's going to be a thing. And really good fielding numbers. He's going to be a good guy at the hot corner for you. Then you have Travis Leroy after him, 23 years old, 73 overall, not bad, but only a C-pot, so he's probably not going to get much better. Shortstop, one of the bright spots is Ruben Tejada, only 23 years old with 73 overall and B-pot. Really good contact numbers, not really anything there on the power, but he's more going to be a pretty good defensive shortstop for you. But after him, there's also not much to talk about. Lucas Duda hits bombs even with that 66 power rating versus righties. Let's see. I mean, there's not much to talk about with these guys. Yeah, but Lucas Duda has good power. I'm really surprised that it's only 66. Decent contact numbers. And then nobody really behind him. Kirk Neuenhuis is alright. Good contact against righties. Not much in the power. Colin Cowgill, good against lefties. Not so much against the righties. So you might be platooning these guys in center field, depending on who's pitching. Right field, we got Albert Valencia, who's 72 overall, 21 years old, with a deep potential. I mean, that's good, I guess, but not great. Mike Baxter isn't that great. Got some okay contact numbers, not much in power. Andrew Brown, I don't know who this dude is, and he doesn't look like a guy you're going to want to have on your team anyway. So, yeah, those are the New York Mets. I can't really recommend doing a franchise with them unless you want to use Matt Harvey, in which case I would probably just say be another team and try to get him. David Wright's pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of it. If you are a Mets fan and you disagree with me, why don't you go ahead and leave me a comment down below, subscribe up top. If you like this video or you don't like the Mets, just give me a like down there too. I'd appreciate that. Or if you want to talk about Steve more, you can hit me up on Twitter at ThatSportsGamer. Otherwise, I'm going to keep breaking down the NL East for the rest of this week, and then I'm going to put some big post together for UnderTheCode.com about this whole journey breaking down all 30 teams in MLB 13, the show. So I look forward to seeing you see me again.